Happy to have a guest on the show now, which we don't do all that frequently, but I think it's apropos of what's going on, and that is the legendary voice of the New York Yankees, Mr. John Sterling. Johnny, Craig, and Evan, how you doing, pal?
Well, I'm doing fine, and I'm hoping that you guys are doing pretty good, too.
We are. Thank you so much. So here's the news, and then we can get into it with John. It has been decided, with John's blessing, I want to add, that John will actually take some of the road trips off in the second half of the season, for a myriad of reasons, but I'll let John explain it. And we do not know who the replacement play-by-play person will be just yet, but for a man who had never missed a game for, 40 years, whatever it was.
5,000 consecutive games, if I'm not mistaken.
John, walk us through the decision to take some road trips off here in the second half.
I'm tired. I'm tired. No, I'm been listening to my buddies in broadcasting, especially across the way, Howie Rose and Gary Cohen, and also Michael Kay. And then out there, Eric Nadel of Texas, Tom Hamilton of Cleveland, Denny Matthews of Kansas City, and many others have been telling me for years, you got to take some time off. Vin Scully, of all, you got to take some time off. So I really hate going on the road, and I've been doing it with teams nonstop for 52 years. So I think there's no big thing going on. I'm 100% healthy.
Good.
I'll give you a great example. We're going to go to Minnesota. I'm going on that road trip. And we play Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in Minneapolis. And so it's a 7:40 game on Thursday. Well, in Eastern time zone, it's an 8:40 game. And so, the game will be over 8:40. My goodness, it'll be over at midnight.
Right.
And then we have to get this enormous team together and all the people who are on the sidelines, the staff and broadcasters, whatever. And, we'll get back here at, 3:30 or 4 in the morning. I can't go to sleep right away. I'm one of those who stays up for a couple of hours. So it just ruins your life. The next day there's another game. So I decided this year, with Chris Olivero's blessing, who's such a good guy, that I would take some time off like all these other guys. And it helps that Howie, who works, as you know, for the same company over at WCBS, and he takes about 30 games off. So I think that's what I'm going to do.
So
take off about 30 road games.
This was your choosing. No one's forcing you out for fans that want to think. Right.
No, not at all. No, it certainly was my choosing.
I'm curious. We have a guy who works here as a big Yankee fan who chose to not go to the game Friday and started rooting against the Garrett Cole perfect game because he wasn't there. Will you have that feeling for certain road games? Like, wait a second. Don't do anything too special. I'm not there to give that big call if it happens.
No, hardly. I want, the Yankees, I want them to win 162. It's not possible. They're having such a great year. No. I want them to win. It doesn't matter who makes the call. The game is the game. We have nothing to do with it. It's just, I also, one other thing. Mm-hmm. I'm very, very fortunate. There isn't a day in my life that goes by, including today, that people don't stop by to tell me, what a great job I'm doing and how much they love the broadcast and all. And so, I'm very appreciative. I'm very fortunate, and this is my 34th year with the Yankees. Can you believe it?
Unbelievable.
And I've been on the air. I wanted to be on the air when I was, let's say, 10 to give it an age, and I knew I was going to be on the air. I never had to worry what I was going to do for a living, and I now have been on the air 62 years. My goodness.
There has to be a point where even at 10 that you wanted to do it and knew you were going to be a broadcaster, to a place now where you do have to kind of pinch yourself because you're the unicorn, to last with, one team so long and to the age you've made it and still have your voice, obviously, and ability to call it. Do you pinch yourself every night or no?
Well, let's put it this way. I think I'm very fortunate to be able to do what I said I was going to do when I was a little boy. And I've had nothing but great jobs. My God.
Now,
So I mean, I'm just very fortunate. But anyway, I'm listening to all my friends in the baseball broadcast business to take some time off. Look, if I miss 30 games, let's say that's a round number.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be a round number. Well, I'm going to broadcast about 130 games, and then hopefully the playoffs. So
right, and you will travel with the Yankees in the postseason should they make it, correct?
Absolutely. I'm traveling tonight.
Right. So I want to play a phone call for you, John.
Sure.
This came in over the weekend, and I will get your honest, immediate reaction to a caller to this radio station over the weekend who was, lamenting the TV broadcast versus the radio broadcast. And I'll set it up by telling you that the guy's a big fan of what you and Susan do, but I want you to hear it. So play it, boys.
Everybody's talking about, now the Yankee game's on this. Yeah. Has anyone ever realized that listening to the game on the radio with the John and Susan broadcast, I mean, they paint a picture better than actually seeing the game. The broadcast is that good. And you learn so much, and there's just so much knowledge and just so much entertainment, and it's just such a beautiful experience. And, if you can't watch the game today, give it a shot and then just keep doing it. You'll realize it is the way to listen to baseball.
How about that, John? A beautiful experience. Have you ever heard that before?
Well, I've heard words like it. I'm a believer that baseball, for whatever reason, there are a number of them, is really a radio game. And especially baseball, because, in the summertime, people are on the beach or around the pool or wherever they are, and the radio is there. It's a constant. And believe me, when I was growing up, I thought the greatest thing was a radio crackling on the beach or the pool to a ball game. I don't know why it sounds better, but it really does. So anyway, whoever that was, I thank him.
Yeah, so when people replay, and I'm guilty of it more than anybody, the moments in a broadcast where you might have just missed a call or you corrected mid-call, and that's kind of become part of the charm of the broadcast. Do you go home bothered by a call like that, or just understanding, hey, I'm human, this happens, and people seem to enjoy it regardless?
Well, I do think that I have a big problem, and I'm trying to be ahead of the play all the time. And so I tell myself, for goodness sake, stay back and wait a little bit. And so when I do something wrong like that, I do correct myself.
Right.
Everybody doesn't want to screw up in their job. Everyone, Vin Scully said, gee, it's that you don't want to be wrong. It gives you such a feeling you don't want to. So, I take chances, and when they don't work, they don't work. But if you said to me, well, overall, we've been happy in the last 62 years. Yes.
So now
I'm very happy.
This. You've become legendary for trying to come up with a clever home run call for guys that played for the Yankees, whether they're longtime Yankees or, rental Yankees, etc. Do you remember where a specific player ever came to you to discuss your home run call for them?
Oh, sure.
Could you share a story with us that you might recollect?
Yeah, I couldn't come up with anything for Austin Romine. I just couldn't. And the Yanks had a lot of guys whose either last name was Austin or first name was Austin. And so one day in Detroit, afternoon game, Austin Romine hits a home run, and he's rounding first, and it hits in my head. And I said, Romy, my homie. And so it comes around the bases, blah, blah, blah. Game's over. We're flying somewhere. And I sit in the back of the plane. You're assigned seats, so we fill them all in this special plane that we have. In other words, it's not an enormous plane where you can sit where you want, like the old days. And I sit, you know how they tell you in a restaurant you have a bad table if you're near either the the bathroom or the kitchen?
Yes.
Well, I sit next to both. Happily so. I can get whatever I want, and I can, hit the John. Anyway, Austin Romine comes all the way back. Everything is heard nowadays. People like you and the new technology. And Austin Ryman came back to me and he said, "John, I love the call. It's great." So that was one. That was one.
Did anyone ever say, "I don't like the call"?
Yes. A guy who has about as big a personality as you can have, Nick Swisher.
Swishalicious? He didn't like Swishalicious?
The first one I used for a while was Little Old Saint Nick or something like that.
Okay.
You know,
Right.
And he said to me, "That makes me sound like I'm a little old fat guy." And I said, "All right, I'll change it." So I came up with Swishalicious.
Wow. I wouldn't have guessed of all the Yankees to complain would be Nick Swisher.
Yeah.
Of all people. Are you?
But he was great about it because later on he cut a station break for CBS, and he said, "Is Swishalicious even a word?" John Stewart, WCBS. So I was very happy about that.
I think by listening to you, I know you well. So here's my prediction on your answer to this. The city and stadium you're most happy to not visit anymore is that dump in Tampa Bay. You're so happy to not go there. Is that a fair guess, John?
Yes. And I've just been there. Actually, the broadcast booth and the broadcast area is really easy. It's very easy. It's a short walk to the elevator going up to the press box, and it's a really nice press box and such. But yeah, I don't get a great kick out of that. And I'm not going back to Toronto because on the way in they made it tough, and on the way out because they want to. Teams want to get away from having all their players checked.
Right.
And so we drive to Buffalo, which is 2 hours. And then we go through U.S. Customs. So I'm not going to go through that.
Yeah, Canada has this weird deal. If you drive there, there's one set of rules. If you fly there, there's a completely different set of rules,
Right.
COVID-related. And it makes no sense either way, but that's what John's alluding to there about getting on a bus and driving to Buffalo because it's just different rules. It just doesn't make any sense.
So those are two of them.
Yeah. What do you have any interest in who the Yankees and WFAN picked to do the games that you're not going to do?
No, not at all. I'm not a business person. I'm a broadcaster, and I will tell you this: the games are the easiest thing I do, and it's everything else that makes it tough. And so, no. I would, whoever they hire would be fine.
Well, you know who's interested in the gig? Craig Carton wants to do a couple of games.
There's been some talk about me doing some games, but, I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, he'd probably be very different and very good.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And
I'm really not, that's another thing. I'm really not worried about anyone losing ratings or whatever. The Yankee games will carry it, especially this year because they're
incredible.
Such a great start.
Is this the best pitching run you've ever seen? I mean, because that 98 team was amazing and is the greatest baseball team I've ever seen. But pitching 1 through 5 in this rotation, have you ever remembered anything like this in all your years watching baseball and covering it?
No, the starting 5 has been great all year long. And the odd thing is that outside of Garrett Cole, there aren't any quote unquote big names. And in those in that Torrey era of winning whatever it was 4 times in 5 years and going to the playoffs 6 times or whatever in all those years, in just those years, they had so many great pitchers on the staff.
Right.
And but this team, their pitching is it's great, absolutely great. No, I haven't seen a run like this.
Wrapping it up here with John Sterling, of course, the New York Yankees, a well-deserved day off after going 6-0 in the 6-game homestand, and they'll get back at it tomorrow. What is the craziest event you ever got hired to broadcast or do play-by-play for in your career?
Whoa. When I was at WMCA, we covered a women's football game.
Okay.
And I did that. I also did it's so long ago. I mean, you people were 3 years old. I did the New York Stars of the World Football League. We did it at Randall Stadium. It's a very dark place. you didn't know any of the players. The whole new league, and
Right.
and MCA forgot to put in a line. So I was on with the Jets running back, Matt Snell.
Right.
And we had to pass the phone back and forth. That was, I thought, a pretty crazy
That's
broadcast.
how you broadcasted the game over the phone?
The whole game at Randall's Island, where you didn't know the players and it was dark.
Did you ever
And by the way,
go ahead.
the New York Stars still owe me money. What do you think of that?
And back then, it was probably like $10 a game, something crazy compared to now.
Right.
Did you ever do any offshoot stuff like, I don't know, like the dog show, the great Bob Wolf who did for so many years, any of that kind of stuff?
Well, I did the Kitten Bowl for Hallmark for several
that was
years.
recently. Yep, you did that, and yep, the Kitten Bowl. That's called stealing money, is what that is.
Yeah, and also I did. I haven't thought of these things in years. I did table tennis,
Really?
badminton,
Ping pong. Nice.
Ping pong for ESPN.
Was that
Not
like for the
much.
Olympics or something, or just like their version of worldwide
no,
sports?
They were just putting on things, and it was at the end of my basketball season, and I did some, in effect, ping pong out in San Diego.
Oh, I got to find tape of that. I'm going to find some tape of that one, John. There's no
that
doubt.
would be a biggie.
Wrapping up here with John Sung. If you missed the announcement, not that there was an announcement, there's a report out there, which is we confirm for you, that John's going to take somewhere, in the neighborhood of 25 to 30 road games off here in the second half of this season. He'll do all the playoff games if the Yankees are fortunate enough to go in advance. Are you looking forward to this year's Subway Series more than a lot of the recent ones, just based on the fact that both teams are so good right now?
Yeah, I think it's going to be phenomenal. It always is pretty good now. The media doesn't love it, but the fans love it. And, the fans make the game, obviously.
Right.
And so this year should be unconscious. I mean, both teams, I think the Mets going to win their division by 20 games.
Easy now. The
There
Braves
you
are getting
go.
hot, John. The Braves are getting hot. We got a long way to go.
Yeah, they have time. They have a good team. They have time. And I saw the end of the Philly game. I got home after that ridiculous start, 11:30 in the morning. And I got home, and I actually had the screen on when Harper came up in the eighth inning with down 6-2, bases loaded, and you figure, well, grand slam ties the game, and he had a grand slam to tie the game. And then the Angels went ahead. They can't win, the Angels.
The Angels.
Went ahead.
The Yankees broke the Anaheim Angels.
I want to back this up just 30 seconds. John, you agree with me. The 11:30 starts for the Birds, right?
Right, yes. Of course, I do.
Thank you.
What does that prove?
That means I'm right.
No offense to you and John. That's just two people.
That's all that matters.
Okay.
We're the only two people that matter.
John,
Evan.
here's why the 11:30 game is awesome. For 4-year-old kids, for 7-year-old kids. It's for the families, baby. That's why it's great.
Hey, and I should tell you, John, while I don't have a relationship with your partner, which is my doing, no one else's, she was nominated this year for a Pulse of the People Award. So if you do, when you see her later today, congratulate her on that, please.
I will indeed.
Thank you. And listen, congratulations. I'm glad that this was your decision and it's not being forced on you. And we appreciate a few moments of your time today. Thanks so much.
Well, it was my choice, and thank you for having me on. I appreciate
Thank you, John.
it.
All right. John Sterling, everybody. There you go. All right.
Do you think that's going to happen?
Now.
The part of him informing his
compañero.
compañero.
I didn't tell him that she's already been eliminated.
Oh, you left that part out.
No, I left that out. But she got nominated. And Evan, as the actors will tell you, just being nominated is a gift alone.